Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking at, well, just an absolutely incredible figure in American screen history, Rose Diane Ladd.
70 years. I mean, just think about that span. Over 200 film and TV roles.
Exactly. She's like this bridge, isn't she?
Yeah.
Connecting that sort of classic Hollywood feel right through to modern prestige TV. Her career is just vast.
It really is. And we've got this great biographical summary from our listener, which is fantastic. But our job today really is to go beyond just, listing credits.
Right.
We need to pull out what made her tick, look at those really key collaborations, especially, with her family, which is a huge story in itself.
Yeah.
And just appreciate the sheer breadth of what she did, writing, directing. It wasn't just acting.
No, definitely not. This is all about context, right?
Yeah.
Because a career from 1953 all the way to 2022. She saw everything, every big shift in the industry she adapted.
She had to.
So just to ground us, let's get those big achievements out there first.
Yeah.
Diane Ladd got 3 Academy Award nominations. 3.
Pretty remarkable.
Yeah. The first one was way back in 1974. Then 2 more, like bang, bang, in 1990 and 1991. That alone tells you something about how consistently good she was.
Absolutely. Sustained excellence, that's the phrase.
And sadly, as we're doing this, we should note, she passed away very recently, November 3rd, 2025. She was 89.
70 years, though. It's not just sticking around. It's staying relevant. That's the trick. And what's amazing about her is how she could just glide between that really gritty 1970s new Hollywood stuff that made her famous early on.
Right.
And then later, settle into these long-running TV dramas that people found really comforting. That adaptability is key.
Okay, so let's unpack the beginnings. Where did this journey start? It's deep in the American South, right?
Deep South. She was born Rose Diane Ladd, November 29th, 1935. But here's a fun little detail from the source material.
Yeah.
She was actually born in Laurel, Mississippi, but only because the family was visiting relatives there for Thanksgiving.
Ah, okay, so they didn't actually live in Laurel.
No, their home base was Meridian, Mississippi, which is nearby. But being born while sort of on the road, it almost feels like a little hint of the life she'd lead, constantly moving.
Huh. That's interesting. But definitely a Mississippi woman at heart.
Oh, absolutely. And you can feel that Southern identity in so many of her best roles. Those complex, earthy, often really opinionated women. There's a certain weight to them.
And her family. What were they like?
Well, her dad, Preston Paul Ladner, he was a veterinarian, actually specialized in stuff for poultry and livestock, which is quite specific.
Huh.
And her mother, Mary Bernadette Ladner, was listed as a housewife, but also had acting interests herself. Maybe that's where the seed was planted.
Could be. And the source mentions she was raised Roman Catholic.
Yeah.
That cultural layer, especially in the South back then, must have informed things too.
Definitely adds another dimension, but here's the bit that really jumps out, connecting her to this grand Southern artistic tradition. You might not know this.
Go on.
She had family ties to some absolute giants of literature.
Really?
Get this. The playwright, Tennessee Williams.
Wow. Seriously, Tennessee Williams.
Oh, yep. And also the poet Sidney Lanier.
That is extraordinary. I had no idea. So it wasn't just her mother's interest. There was this deeper lineage, this environment sort of steeped in Southern drama and storytelling.
Exactly. It makes her path into acting feel almost inevitable, doesn't it? Like it was in the blood.
Yeah, it really does. And she didn't hang around, did she?
No, she got started pretty quickly. By 1953, she's living down in New Orleans, which is perfect, very Tennessee Williams territory.
Right.
And she gets cast in a stage production of Tobacco Road, which was a pretty controversial, gritty play for its time about poverty, very raw.
So that was the real launch, that New Orleans stage work.
It seems like it. That success gave her the push to head north to New York, to really go for it on stage and screen.
And those early film roles in the, late 50s, early 60s, they're not the famous ones, but she was working.
Oh, yeah, plugging away. Lots of uncredited bits. Like, there's one mention, Something Wild in 1961. But maybe a more significant early credited part was in that 1966 biker movie, The Wild Angels. She played Geish.
The Wild Angels, okay. That's a cult classic now.
Right, and significant for another reason, too. She was in it with her first husband, Bruce Dern.
The connection begins.
Yep. So even back then, before the big awards and recognition, She's already right there, tangled up with that whole generation of actors who would become New Hollywood. It all sets the stage for the 70s.
Okay, so the 1970s, this is where things really take off for her, right? This is the breakthrough decade. She gets deep into that whole new Hollywood wave.
Absolutely. And the role, the one that just changed everything and got her noticed everywhere, was in 1974, Florence Jean Flo Castleberry.
In Scorsese's Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore.
That's the one. And you have to remember what a big deal that film was. Scorsese exploring the single mom's life, trying to make ends meet, chasing a dream. It was really groundbreaking stuff for the time.
And Flo wasn't your typical Hollywood waitress.
Not at all. Sharp-tongued, kind of world-weary, but fiercely loyal. A real complex working-class woman, not just a stereotype.
And people noticed. The industry definitely noticed. She got nominated for Best Supporting Actress, right? Oscars and Golden Globes?
Yep, both nominations for Flo. Which is huge recognition straight out of the gate for that kind of role. But the award story gets even more interesting.
How so?
Well, she got the Oscar nomination, which is massive, obviously. But internationally, her big win came a bit later in '76. She won the BAFTA.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The British Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress.
Exactly. For Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore. So that BAFTA win really locks it in. It says, okay, this wasn't just a fluke nomination. This performance was recognized globally as top-tier work.
That's fascinating. And then what's really wild is how that indie drama success immediately spun off into something huge commercially.
The sitcom, Alice, ran forever on CBS, right? Took the same basic idea of waitresses in a diner.
Yeah. But here's where it gets a bit complicated, or unique anyway.
Yeah.
Diane Ladd didn't originally play Flo on the TV show, did she?
No, that's right. Initially, the actress Polly Holliday took the Flo character from the movie and made it her own iconic TV role, Kiss My Grits.
Right, classic. So where did Diane Ladd fit in?
Well, when Polly Holliday left the show around 1980, Diane Ladd actually came back into that world, but not as Flo.
So she joined the cast as a different character.
Exactly. She played Isabelle Belle Dupree, another waitress, basically filling that character slot left by Flo.
That's unusual. To create the original film role, see someone else make it famous on TV, and then join the same show as someone else entirely.
It really is. It shows how tied she was to that whole concept, I guess, and how much star power she had by then that they'd bring her in like that.
And she wasn't just filling a gap. She was successful in that role, too, wasn't she?
Very successful. She won a Golden Globe for playing Belle, Best Supporting Actress in a TV series for the 1980-81 season.
Okay, hold on. So she wins the BAFTA, the big International Film Award for playing Flo in the movie. And then she wins the Golden Globes, a major TV award for playing Belle in the TV show inspired by the movie.
That's it. 2 different characters, same universe, top awards in both film and television. That really tells you something about her consistency and her ability to connect no matter the medium.
Incredible range. And speaking of range, let's not forget, 1974 wasn't just about Alice. That same year, she's also in Chinatown.
Yes. Roman Polanski's masterpiece. Totally different world. Neo-noir, dark, complex.
She plays Ida Sessions, right? The woman who kind of kicks the whole mystery off.
That's her. And think about the contrast. Alice is gritty, but has that hopeful, almost comedic edge sometimes. Chinatown is just dark. Corruption, secrets, despair.
To be in both those films, both huge, both critically adored, in the same year.
Yeah.
That takes some serious skill.
Absolutely. Mastery of tone, like you said. And then if you want the ultimate proof of just how wide her range was, jump forward to 1989.
I think I know where you're going.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Nora Griswold. Clark's mom-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
Or aunt. Wait, whose mom was she? Eddie's wife's mom. No.
Mark's mom.
Clark's mom, yeah. Not
Yeah.
Nora Griswold. Wonderfully out of touch, slightly baffled by everything. It's pure, broad comedy, slapstick chaos.
Totally. And to go from the intensity of Scorsese and Polanski to that, it just shows she was a true character actor. She wasn't precious about genre. If the role was interesting or fun, she'd dive in.
That really sets the stage nicely for what might be the most defining part of her story, the family aspect.
Yeah, the whole family dynamic is central, especially in the later parts of her career. We mentioned her first marriage was to Bruce Dern from 1960 to 1969.
2 actors, both coming up during that exciting period in Hollywood.
Right. But their early life together also had this real tragedy that you have to mention because it shapes everything.
Okay.
They had 2 daughters. Their first, Diane Elizabeth, tragically died when she was only 18 months old, a drowning accident.
Oh, how awful. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's incredibly sad. And it just adds this layer of depth, I think, to the relationship they eventually built, professionally and personally, with their second daughter.
The second daughter being, of course, Laura Dern.
Laura Elizabeth Dern, who followed them both into acting and, well, created this incredible mother-daughter screen partnership. It's really something special in Hollywood history.
It feels unprecedented, doesn't it? The level of collaboration and success they had together.
It really does. It's not just that they appeared in films together. It feels like they tapped into something real between them, some shared dramatic energy.
So let's tick off some of those key collaborations.
Yeah.
Because they lead directly to Diane Ladd's later award recognition. There was David Lynch's Wild at Heart in 1990.
Right. Surreal, intense film. And that performance got Diane Ladd her second Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actress, working with Lynch, working with Laura.
And that really paved the way for the big one, didn't it? The historical peak.
Absolutely. 1991, Rambling Rose.
Such a great film. Independent, critically loved. Laura Dern is amazing as Rose, the title character, and Diane Ladd plays Mother, the woman who hires her.
It's the ultimate showcase for their partnership, according to the source material. And, their on-screen history actually goes back even further. Laura Dern apparently had tiny, uncredited parts in a couple of her mom's early films when she was just a kid. White Lightning, and get this, Alice doesn't live here anymore.
No way. In Alice. That's amazing. Full circle.
Isn't it? And they kept working together later, too. Films like Citizen Ruth, Inland Empire, and then they brought that dynamic to TV.
Right, with that HBO show, Enlightened.
Enlightened, yeah. From 2011 to 2013, that was important because it showed their chemistry worked just as well in that sort of modern, high-quality cable drama format. Diane played Laura's character's mother, Helen Jellicoe.
It proved their connection wasn't just a movie thing. It was adaptable, timeless.
Exactly. But let's circle back to Rambling Rose because the awards story there is just historic. For you, the listener, understanding why that dual Oscar nomination in '91 was such a big deal is crucial.
Okay, lay it out for us.
So Diane Ladd gets her third Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actress. At the same time, her daughter, Laura Dern, gets nominated for Best Actress for the same film.
In the same year.
In the same year. And that had never, ever happened before in Academy history.
The first time ever. A mother and daughter nominated for acting Oscars for the same movie.
That's it. It wasn't just like, oh, neat, they're both nominated. It was recognition of something unique happening on screen between them, their real relationship fueling the art. They both got Golden Globe nominations that year, too. It was a huge moment.
That kind of history, where the family unit itself makes cinematic history, it's incredibly rare.
So rare. And that unique legacy got cemented, quite literally, in a very public way later on.
You mean the Walk of Fame?
Exactly. November 1st, 2010, Diane Ladd, Laura Dern, and Bruce Dern all received stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And not just stars, but adjoining stars, right next to each other.
The whole family.
The whole acting family unit. And again, they set a record. First time 3 family members got stars on the same day in the same ceremony. It's like the perfect visual representation of their impact as this enduring Hollywood dynasty.
Okay, so that incredible success in the 90s, especially with the Rambling Rose, seems like it gave her the momentum to explore other creative avenues too, right? Beyond just acting.
Absolutely. She didn't just rest on her laurels. She clearly had ambitions to be more than just an actor for hire, even a brilliant one. She stepped behind the camera. She started writing.
Taking control.
Exactly, which is a big move. In 1995, she co-produced, wrote, and directed a film called Mrs. Monk.
Wow. All 3. Writer, director, producer.
And she starred in it too, playing the title role.
That's a massive undertaking, especially for someone primarily known as an actor up to that point. What does that tell you?
It tells me she wasn't going to be limited by the roles people offered her. She wanted to tell her own stories, shape the narrative herself, especially, you suspect, stories about the kind of complex Southern women she understood so deeply. It's a real declaration of creative independence, owning the whole process.
And that storytelling ambition didn't stop with film, did it? She moved into writing books too.
Yeah, she became an author. Her first book came out in 2006. It was called Spiraling Through the School of Life, a mental, physical, and spiritual discovery.
That sounds quite reflective, moving inwards almost.
It does, doesn't it? Sort of positioning herself as someone with wisdom to share about life, resilience, aging, not just an entertainer anymore, but maybe a bit of a guide. She put out another one in 2016, A Bad Afternoon for a Piece of Cake.
Huh. I like that title. And then her most recent book brought it all back home, didn't it? Back to family.
It did. In 2023, she and Laura Dern co-authored a book together, Honey, Baby, Mine. A mother and daughter talk life, death, love, and banana pudding.
Chuckles. Love the banana pudding part. That feels very Diane Ladd.
Doesn't it? It's just perfect. It encapsulates that Southern warmth, that directness, even about tough subjects like life and death. It's literally them talking, putting that incredible bond down on paper for everyone. A really lovely final chapter to their collaborative story.
It really is. But even while she was writing and directing, she kept acting right. And her later filmography still shows that incredible range.
Oh, absolutely. Right up until the end, pretty much. You look at some of the roles, like there was this indie screwball comedy in '92 called Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me.
Okay.
She played, guess what, a kind of flirty, aging Southern belle. But here's the kicker.
Yeah.
In that movie, she acted alongside her own mother, Mary Lanier.
Get out. Her actual mother. So the acting gene went back another generation.
Looks like it. Isn't that fantastic? Performance was just baked into the family, clearly.
That's amazing. But she wasn't just doing indie comedies.
No way. She could step right into big, serious studio pictures, too. Like in 1998, she played Mama Stanton in Primary Colors.
Oh, right. The political drama, kind of based on the Clintons.
Exactly. Playing that tough, matriarchal political figure shows she could handle serious drama in a major ensemble just fine.
And then for a whole different audience, especially later on, she became really well known for a TV role, didn't she? On the Hallmark Channel.
Chesapeake Shores, yes. She played Nell O'Brien, the family matriarch in that series, for 6 years, from 2016 to 2022.
6 years, well into her 80s. That's commitment.
It really is. Shows incredible stamina, physically and creatively. And it introduced her to a whole new generation of viewers who loved that kind of comforting, family-focused drama. She became this reliable, warm presence for them.
And she kept working almost right up to the very end. Her last couple of film roles were in 2022.
That's right. Gigi and Nate and Isle of Hope both came out in 2022. Just think about that, a career that starts in 1953, and she's still releasing films in 2022. Astounding longevity.
It really is. And we should also mention, beyond the big Oscar nods, she got other significant recognition, too.
Definitely. For Rambling Rose, besides the Oscar nomination, she actually won the Independent Spirit Award for Best Supporting Female, which makes sense given her roots and how often she worked in indie film.
Right. And TV kept calling, too, even for guest spots.
Yeah.
She got Emmy nominations for those, didn't she?
3 Primetime Emmy nominations, yeah. And look at the shows talk about variety. Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman.
Okay. Western drama.
The sitcom Grace Under Fire. And the spiritual drama Touched by an Angel.
Wow. Western sitcom, faith-based drama. Getting Emmy nods for guest roles across all of those. That's maybe the ultimate testament to her versatility as an actress. She could fit anywhere. So as we start to wrap this up, let's touch on the key personal milestones outside of the work itself. We know about Bruce Dern. She was married 3 times total.
That's right. After divorcing Dern in '69, she married William A. Shea Jr. that same year. They divorced in 1977. Then her third and longest marriage started in 1999.
To Robert Charles Hunter.
Yes. And he was a pretty big deal in his own right, wasn't he? Former CEO of PepsiCo Food Systems.
Right. And there's a sad note about their timing at the end, isn't there?
There is, yeah. Very poignant. Robert Hunter, her husband for over 25 years, actually passed away in late August 2025.
Just 3 months before she did.
Exactly, just 3 months. So she lost her longtime partner right at the very end of her own life. Adds another layer of sadness to those final months.
Absolutely. We also really need to talk about that serious health crisis she had a few years back.
Yeah.
Because it says so much about her resilience and also about Laura Dern's role in her life off screen.
Oh, definitely. This was back in 2018. It sounds terrifying. She got really sick and was initially told she had pneumonia.
Yeah.
But it was much worse. The doctors apparently told her she only had months, maybe a year to live.
Oh my God. What was actually wrong?
It turned out she hadn't inhaled a virus, but poison spray, likely pesticides from nearby farms. It had severely damaged her lungs, constricted her esophagus, a misdiagnosis with fatal consequences if left unchecked.
That's horrifying. An environmental toxin misdiagnosed as terminal pneumonia? So what happened?
Well, this is where Laura Dern stepped in. She apparently questioned the diagnosis, wasn't satisfied with the treatment plan, and made the call to move her mother to a different hospital.
Wow. Took charge.
Completely. And at the other hospital, they figured out what was really going on, got her the right treatment, and she made a full recovery.
A full recovery after being told she had months to live.
A full recovery. It's an incredible story. Laura Dern's advocacy literally saved her mother's life and gave her, another 7 years? 7 more years of life, of working, of being with her family.
That bond between them is just profound, on screen and off.
Truly, and Diane Ladd's resilience to bounce back from that is amazing too.
So she lived those extra years and finally passed away in Ojai, California, November 3rd, 2025, aged 89. And the cause was given as idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis.
Yeah, which can sometimes be linked to environmental factors, interestingly enough, though idiopathic means the exact cause is unknown. Looking back, though, what a journey. From gritty 50s stage plays to being a key part of 70s New Hollywood, making Oscar history with Laura in the 90s, then reinventing herself as a writer, director, TV matriarch.
Right up to 2022, it's the definition of a complete, sustained creative life in American arts.
Absolutely. So when we pull this all together for you, the listener, what really stands out is this Dern Ladd family legacy. It's just such an outlier in Hollywood, isn't it?
It really is. How many acting families achieve that kind of simultaneous success across generations?
Yeah.
And keep working together, making history together. Twice, really, once with her own nomination history and then the joint nomination.
Very, very few. And that enduring connection, that successful collaboration, leaves us with a final thought for you to chew on.
Okay.
Think about the 2 big awards we focused on. Diane Ladd won the BAFTA, this really prestigious film award, for playing Flo Castleberry, that raw, gritty, working-class woman in a serious new Hollywood drama.
Right.
Then, years later, she wins the Golden Globe, a major TV award, for playing Bill Dupree, this warm, funny character in a network sitcom. Same universe, totally different vibe. So the question for you is, what does it tell you about her talent that she could reach the absolute peak of recognition for performances that were so incredibly different? Different in tone, style, medium, emotional weight. Does it mean true mastery is just about being adaptable? Or does it suggest that the industry, even with all its focus on serious drama, actually values and rewards that reliable, genuine comedic skill just as highly, even if it expresses it differently? Something to think about.